is a go hard deck that we played even before the nerf to Pack Your Bags happened, but Pack Your Bags is still just very good at 5 mana, and this deck's still just very good as is. So go hard here, drains 1 from a unit and creates 2 copies of itself anywhere in your deck. Once you've played 3 copies, all of your copies everywhere turn into copies of Pack Your Bags. And then this deck is playing Ezreal as its primary finisher that says we level when we've targeted enemies 6+ times. And then his leveled mode says whenever you cast a spell, deal 1 to the enemy nexus or deal 2 instead if that spell targeted an enemy. So he's also self-enabling in that when he hits the enemy nexus, he creates you one of these mystic shots to target something with. Past Ezreal, we also have Elise as another cheap champion that Elise is just a good stat line card, 2/3 fearsome for 2, that when she attacks, she summons a spiderling. So Elise is pretty good at playing defense against aggressive decks, but she also allows us to go on the offensive against opposing control decks. This deck has a lot of card draw in it, so you're able to find your way back to your copies of Go Hard consistently. We've got Rummage, we've got Glimpse Beyond, we've got Static Shock, and at the very top end of our curve, we've got 3 copies of Pogger's Day here. Draw 3 cards, reduce the cost of each of those cards by 1. And then we get to play 3 copies of Aftershock here, which is a good piece of flexible deal 3 to anything. So in the early game, this can hit your opponent's units, but in the late game, it can pivot to being a little bit of reach to help us close out and finish the opponent's nexus off. It also gives us the flexibility to destroy a landmark, which is something we're interested in having in a deck that's more controlling on occasion. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it feels in the current format. It seems actually kind of great, huh? We have Thermo Beam for their Zoe. We have Aftershock for Aphelios. We've got Glimpse paired with Hapless Aristocrat here. In.
We were peaceful once.
Nightfall deck.
I must get out of here. We will resist.
Hey, you're good, Dirty Digits. Thanks for the 1.5 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning.
Unseen,
unheard. Unseen, unheard. I'm just gonna go ahead and kill this. I've got Thermo Beam to deal with an Aphelios. I've got Mystic Shots from Ezreal. Them having elusives that can block my champion isn't great for me.
The world's a big place. Let's see all of it.
Let's see all of it.
Mountain speaks to those who listen.
Get to attack with this because we're generating a Mystic Shot. We also have a Go Hard that can finish this, so like, that's fine. Go ahead and point this here, get our Ezreal working on leveling up some more. The 5 Talk, thanks for the follow if you're still here. I think I missed that one during the Duck Tech too. Welcome, welcome. Wait, did they just skip their attack by mistake? Is that what just happened? That should have been a misclick, right? Our deck's very good at killing Zoe. We've got Vile Feast, Go Hard, and Thermo Beam.
All skill.
Oh, I should have attacked with this too, technically. So, Ezreal is leveled.
Check me out.
So, at this point, we're kind of waiting for a Pogger's Day to get some gas in the tank. Definitely want to murder this. I guess I could murder both of these? What do you think about that? I think I'm kind of into it, huh? That's unfortunate.
Firing.
Opponent's playing a bit of a brew as well, so it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to know exactly what they're doing. Like, I was expecting maybe Unspeakable Horror, but the fact that they're on Vile Feast kind of surprised me.
What once was two, now is one.
Siblings once were inseparable.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way. Conflict is as old as the stars themselves. Invisible to the ignorant.
Yeah, the fact that we never got to use any of our card advantage here was a big deal. Really need to find a progress day. Maybe a progress weekend.
Every step brings me closer to deliverance. Simpering fool.
Have their third hush. Huh? Really weird mix of cards. They're on like Vile Feast to be interactive, but they're still playing things like that to like punk us out. I think I'm just passing, because if I draw a Rummage, I want to discard both of these. Is that true, actually? Maybe I want to kill this. I'm going to kill this. Or 11 cards into our deck without a progress day now. Or a Rummage.
My star fades.
Those shells, I don't think were playing... I don't think they were playing Shadestalker, Cody, but I could be wrong. God, that's such a lucky roll. They rolled a little Celestial on that.
My life is lost,
Alright, we can still be in this if we find a draw 3. Otherwise, we're gonna be pretty dead.
Time for a true display of skill.
What a game of Hearthstone. Fucking RNG clown fiesta.
Oh, really?
Not a whole lot we can do about that. Just hit both the cheap unit to pressure us that turn, and then also drew the big elusive to block the Ezreal we drew, whilst we failed to draw any of our top end in the top third of our deck. That's how they go sometimes. Vengeance and Thermo Beam both sound great here. Honestly, working towards Pack the Bag sounds fine too. I think I'm keeping all of these.
Time for a true display of skill.
Let me guide.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Feels like a safe preemptive mute, yep.
There's always fighting 8-punch Pablo.
8-punch Pablo.
Charge!
For silver I thought, for gold I leased it.
And then again, I think I actually get aggressive and Mystic Shot this here, because if this doesn't have an ally to support, she can't heal.
Watch and learn.
I will find the goodness in you, Ever King.
Hope only provides temporary sustenance, child.
I don't know that this deck's really interested in drawing temporary cards with something like stress testing.
Pablo's been down, but his knee out.
We got Doom Blades for days, opponent. Hey, they finally got us. And then, unfortunately, this gets to hook this. We don't have one more thing to target here. And now I won't be able to, wait, what? Oh gosh, the greed. The greed consumes you, opponent. They wanted to get the triggers on this, but now Beam levels Ezreal, so they can't kill him anymore.
I'm so good, I surprised myself.
Yeah, opponent definitely should have just taken that attack and killed my thing.
Oh, you wee scrub.
Watch and learn.
Scare me out of behind. crap soup, lassie, please! It's that soup? You've been drinking this?
You've been drinking this? Okay.
Let's go, Osu.
Should have stayed home.
And we'll have exactly what we were missing here this game, where we have this progress day, so we're gonna get to snowball our card advantage really nicely here. Progress weekend sounds great. Just nip that one in the bud there.
Our mountain roads are full of dangers, but I know them all.
I don't miss. Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Sure.
I make shepherding look easy.
Okay, I mean, this game's not ending anytime soon, but we're solidly in control here.
Stay strong. Table for one, if you oblige.
Aye, he's dinner on you then.
Goodbye. That was kind of a textbook example of how we want games to play out with this deck. Just like get Ezreal down to help us control the board a little bit. Plenty of removal, little bit of card advantage. Lucian Hecarim. So I think I'm keeping Thermo Beam here to kill an early Lucian. I'm mulligan the rest of these looking for Aftershock because the opponent's deck tends to be very embarrassing when they don't get to keep Plaza in play. Yeah, Ezreal's leveled mode says unless you targeted an enemy. So landmarks don't count as an enemy. That's correct. Honestly, it might be wrong to go hard here. It might be right to just, like, bank mana and play Ezreal next turn. I think I'm actually just passing here, because if they play Landmark, I want to kill it. And if they play something that's not the Landmark, I want to Ezreal and Mystic Shot it. And I think my deck is... I think they're the beatdown in this matchup. As this game goes long, I'm more favored to win. So I think if I pass and then they pass and burn mana there, that's good for me. So what they play dictates my play, and if they choose not to take a play, that's a good thing for me. So that's a pretty easy pass there for us. Hey, good morning, Quintius. Happy Monday. Guess single combat? Single combat would make me a little bit sad here, I suppose. Yeah, no Mystic Shot for us, unfortunately, here. Maybe I was wrong to play that out.
That egg. Did it move?
Did it move?
No.
No, no, no. Are they about to rally? Is that what's about to happen here? Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for him here. Man, their hand must be rancid, huh? Like, our hand's not great, but, like, their hand must be terrible if that's their play. This is a gain 6, basically, because it kills this and stops them from bringing back another shark. I guess if they have, like, another thing to put ephemerals into play here, this play isn't great. Which they could, based on how they played last turn. Sure.
To get me out of here.
Yeah, to be fair, the single combat happened the previous turn. Yeah, the way a lot of people built Lucy and Hecarim, the deck looks very bad if it doesn't keep Plaza in play. Which is why having Aftershock was so critical in the opener and why we mulliganed the way we did. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this before they can play a Lucy now. One turn away from this happening. Hey, that's a pack your bags, right? Yes. All right, take the pass. One turn a little late on that, but feel like we're in a good spot now at this point. I suppose they could have like Hecarim into open attacks here if they have a way to not die to this.
Return to us.
Ah, the old naked rekindler to not die to the Ledros. Yikes. Got me.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
Let's mess some folks up. Hey, look at that, chat. Look at that nerf. What benefit do we get from Elise over another champion? What other champion would we benefit from versus playing Elise? What problem do you envision my deck having that you're solving by putting a different champion in it? Scottish Reaver, thank you for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Good morning. Playing Twisted Fate in my PNZ Shadow Isles deck would be impressive. I would definitely play 6 Ezreal if we could. Ten out of 10 would play 6 Ezreal. I'm gonna keep this in case they have a 1 mana 2/1 or something like that. I'm gonna mulligan the rest of these looking for Aftershock. They nerfed Plaza, but it's still a pretty important part of their archetype, I think.
Lady Elise?
Where are you? I don't see a problem with your deck, but I'd like to ask how we should change it. Is like pretty peak Twitch chat. It reminds me of a YouTube comment I got yesterday where they saw me miss my 5th land drop in one of my Magic videos, so I couldn't play my 5 drop to live, so they recommend that I add some tapped lands to my deck. It's like, well, one, adding cards to my deck after I miss land drops is just stupid in general, but two, you made the suggestion extra stupid by suggesting I add tapped lands of all things. So, like, it's like, fuck, if you're gonna be results-based, at least, like, think about what you're suggesting in terms of being results-based.
Time for a true display of skill.
Okay, well, they can't sharp sight me anymore.
Watch and learn.
So we'll attack with this. And then with the rummage here, I actually get to do something useful with this Mystic Shot, right? Player, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. Deal? Deal?
Come closer. I don't bite.
Kill that before it can kill my Ezreal here, and they're just conceding because they can't deal with Ezreal, sure. BT dubs, I posted it on my Twitter, but just so it gets mentioned a couple of times on Twitch too. I am no longer going to be maintaining that second YouTube channel I put up about 2 months back for the Runeterra highlight videos. Yeah. The highlight videos just weren't particularly popular. They were consistently getting less views than my unedited full-length stream segment videos got. And it takes a lot of work to put up edited videos, so the fact that they were less popular than the unedited ones means it's just not worth the time investment. They just weren't seeing any sort of reasonable growth. And by reasonable, I mean any growth at all. So I still plan to cut up my full stream segments and put them on my youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland like I always do, but that Hoaglandia highlights channel is going to be retired for the time being. Aftershock actually seems like a decent keep here against their Ashe deck. You consider doing magic highlights. So the problem with doing magic highlights is that the amount of editing it takes to do decent magic highlights is incredible. Games of Magic have such vast amounts of downtime that, like, editing out the downtime, it would be, like, super time intensive. And, like, for reference, when I say not worth the effort, the highlights channel that I had for Runeterra, I think made less than $10 in ad revenue for a month that it existed with ads on it. So, like, YouTube makes pennies on the dollar. It's just really not worth the effort.
Did it move? I thought you'd never ask.
Winter take you.
Read. Am I go-harding here, or am I static shocking? I think I'm go-harding, because there's a chance they have a troll chance to save this, then we can static shock it next turn. The Bant party deck today is the one that I've talked about a little bit, Beansy, yeah. Arnagum, thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Good morning. Think we're just going to work towards leveling Ezreal here so we can try and end this game. The opponent's archetype frequently plays a bunch of culling strikes, so it's kind of hard for Ezreal to survive in this matchup consistently.
You gotta believe me! Please, I have connections!
Yeah, and like, one of the things I took the time... Nah, that's definitely not true, Death. As someone who is friends with people that make YouTube content, the amount of views you need to get to make livable money off YouTube ad revenue starts somewhere in the low 5 figures. So like, if you're posting a daily video and your daily videos are getting like, say, 20,000 plus views, that's about the point where you start to see like, okay, I can live off of YouTube ad revenue. People that are consistently posting videos that get millions of views, those people are legit wealthy. Like those people are making like 7 figures in ad revenue per year easily, if not more than that.
Many tribes under one banner.
But like, for example, like my Magic videos get like, my average Runeterra video gets like 500 to 1,000 views, and like even my Magic videos, like they peak out at like 3,000 or 3,500 when there's new set release hype. Like I don't come close to clearing those metrics personally. I think we're just aftershocking for the sake of using mana and getting Ezreal working towards leveling up. Yeah, and like, you know, there's some variance in it, so there's not like a guaranteed formula that like you get 20,000 views, you make X dollars, but that's about the part, having talked to a few different people. Having talked to a few different people in the industry, that's about the point where it starts to be like, okay, this could be livable money. I'm just gonna vengeance this to keep their board small. Do y'all still see me? Is my Runeterra just lagging? My Twitch doesn't appear to be disconnected. Yeah, OBS looks fine. Yeah, we see you, we're here. The client just like randomly hard locked? Oh, and we're back? Okay. Weird. I don't think I've had that happen before. What do you mean by hard lock? I mean it locked up. I mean, I can't click on or interact with anything.
Watch and learn. Nailed it.
Okay. That's an Ezreal level. This is a backup Ezreal in hand tier 2. Our opponent has had 2 Hearthguards happen this game. Yeah, so their things are real big at this point. I think we're aftershocking plus Mystic shotting this. They're not anywhere near low enough for us to start aggressively killing their Nexus here yet. Do this to get another blocker out here. I think my plan is to throw the spider in front of something and then glimpse it next turn. It's not terrible either if they develop before attacking here. This lets me,
Lady Elise?
Where are you?
You own what you've
Take.
Yikes. I guess that's actually not too bad, right? Because this is backup Ezreal.
Please, take me home.
Hush, my sweet.
Hush, my sweet. This is only at 2 out of 5.
You gotta believe me. To get me out of here.
What's your hurry? It will all be over soon.
Yeah, let's stay at 10 here.
All for the best, my pet.
I agree, this board is excellent music.
I thought you'd never ask. Sounds dangerous.
Okay, Vile Feast, give us some blockers and a little bit extra life here. And your Harsh Wind, sure.
I need just a moment.
I need the spiders to block with next turn, right? So I think I unfortunately have to spew a little bit of mana here. So we'll Vile Feast, bank 3 out of 5, and then we'll Progress Day next turn. So this'll get to hook into here. These will chump here. We'll take 6. We're hoping to fade Tryndamere. He's a big, scary, overwhelmed dude. Them opening attacks is good for us. So I think we actually go hard this, because this way, if this hits pack the bags plus another go hard, we can finish Sejuani that way. Do I want to play Zonite Urchin? I kind of think I do, right? Is it crazy to Urchin ditch the Thermo Beam to get them to try and commit more to the board? The Aftershock's definitely going to the face. We're not Aftershocking any of their units. So the question is, do I pack to start or do I Urchin before the pack in case they drew the Yeti? The downside to ditching the Beam is the Beam can finish the Sejuani.
Anything helps.
Still good at 5 mana, turns out. Weird.
Not and ready.
We're still kind of dead to Tryndamere, huh?
If it's a fight they want.
Didn't take their free kill here. All right.
Who gets tossed?
Okay. What a razor thin game, huh? Got him. And even if they'd opened attacks here, I would have been able to vengeance this. Yeah, I didn't ditch the aftershock because we could aftershock their doom the next following turn. Exactly correct. Their regions don't generally play healing. Sometimes they have Innkeeper, but not always. You had pulled for lethal and you didn't go with the tank. Now I'll just play the card that kills them. Is Masters equivalent to Mythic? It is. With the important differential being is that this 122 points, this counts up. So these are ladder points. They're not my individual ranking. Aphelios, Victor. Honestly, I think I'm going to full mulligan here. Do I keep the Elise? We're attacking on odds, which makes Elise quite a bit worse. I think looking for like Thermo Beam or Aftershock to kill their champion sounds great here.
Never asked.
So they could just try and murder Ezreal here. Yeah, their PNZ deck as well. We have second Ezreal in hand, and we have this glimpse, so like no spilt milk here. And if they have Aphelios as a follow-up, we'll get to Aftershock him next turn. Just good and clean.
The brighter my light, the stronger your shadow.
Champ skin? I have no idea. I don't have any love or feelings related to League of Legends in general, so I don't really have strong feelings about things like that I'd like to see in the game. We're gonna get a gem. That's fine. See if they're playing Pale Cascade here. Sure not. So next turn we'll get to go Ezreal into Hush. Or Ezreal into Mystic Shot, hoping to dodge Hush. So Ezreal doesn't get killed by the goat. What I should say. It's a great draw, because it means if they have Hush, we can kill this after they go to block. Meow, 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 meow. It's pretty annoying. So, we'll Mystic Shot this, and then next turn we have 1 spell mana banked plus 6 more, so we can Vengeance their Submersible to clear out room for Ezreal to get attacking.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
Yeah, I definitely removed someone's ability to post on comments on my YouTube channel when they asserted that Aphelios would only be good in Nightfall decks, and then they argued with me after I explained why that was wrong. So it's always kind of gratifying when something works out in practice exactly how you expected it to in theory. They're for both, Arnagum. This is the perfect style of card for a deck like this because what it's doing is flexible. It's face damage when you're ready for it to be face damage, but it also answers landmarks and it kills a ton of key champions that have 3 toughness in the format. Like it does a lot. Yeah, elusive is exactly flying. Can only be blocked by other elusive units. It's not like an Abrade at all, actually. Because a braid doesn't go to the dome. So like this is slow and it hits their face. So the comparisons to a braid are pretty off point. Maybe they're people that have never played with a braid before. But a braid explicitly is not reach. Definitely just burning their mana here. I'm out of mana. I don't need to attack for 1. Okay, but what if I just kept playing 8 mana Thermo Beams? What if that was the game plan? Just continue to 8 mana Thermo Beam everything. So it's kind of more, I would say it is actually more comparable to Culligan's Command than a Braid, because Culligan's Command does provide reach. Culligan's Command has the upside of being able to generate card advantage, though, is the big difference there.
No way.
What's going on, Pokemon nerd?
Glory.
Now, notably, we're through 2 of our 3 Ezreals at this point. So closing's gonna get a little bit harder here. We do have 1 Ledros in the deck, which can be helpful in situations like this.
The future is steel and science.
Opponent still notably at 20 here. You haven't played any Go-Hards yet, right? No.
As darkness falls, the moon rises.
Hopefully by the time they put cons on Arena, they ban Uro and Historic. That would be my ideal. Because I agree, KT, all the cons cards are a lot of fun.
Graviton.
Yes, of course.
If I tried the deck the opponent's playing, you can always answer the question, what decks has Jeff played, by checking out my YouTube channel. Everything we play ends up there, so if we've played it, it has a video.
Spirit shines.
Carry our faith.
I would assume fetch lands won't be coming with when they introduce that set, Dream. There's no reason to assume they would be printing fetch lands.
Daylight warms the
They aren't legal in Pioneer. There's no reason to assume that we'd be getting them. I'm gonna do this before I start drawing cards here, so we can try and get our way to a pack. Ledros plus pack could let us win this game for sure. Don't they want Historic to be modern power level? I mean, I'm just gonna time you out, 'cause that's just nonsense. I was gonna ask you for a source on that, but I know there's not a source on that. So, like, I'm just gonna... There's enough bullshit on the internet. Don't post random lies. I mean, there isn't really a hot take to have on that topic. Fetch lands suck. The gameplay they generate is terrible. Veiled Temple alongside Victor and friends seems real good. The fact that they had the Mystic Shot for our glimpse there feels real bad. The opponent had already played 2 Mystic Shots this game, which is why I went for it there. I wonder if Riot will redesign Vlad. He feels non-existent in this game. Have you played the Vlad Riven deck that I've played a bunch of and is on my website? I really feel like a lot of people have very unrealistic expectations for a lot of champions in this game. Like, not every champion can be super popular. There's plenty of champions like Vlad that have playable homes in tier 2 and B-list decks that are super reasonable. It's just not possible for everything to be tier 1. It's just not how card games work. And I mean, that's definitely not to say that there aren't champions that need changes. Like Tarek and Lulu, for example, are both champions that definitely struggle to be playable. I agree with that criticism. I'm timing you out for that shit take as well. That's a take. It's been a while since I've heard from Magic players, and it's so bad. I hope they merge Historic and Pioneer at some point. It's frustrating to have them both exist separately. You're stupid. That's such an ignorant thing to say. Like, the thing that makes Magic such a great game is the fact that it has so many mini games inside of itself. There's no reason that Pioneer and Historic can't coexist. Like, it's like saying, why does Modern exist? Legacy's there. Why does Pioneer exist? Modern's there. Variety is the spice of life, and playing lots of different things and having lots of different formats that are playable is a good thing. It's what Magic does better than any other game. And in fact, I think it would be very bad on Wizards of the Coast part if they did merge those 2 formats as opposed to leaning into the fact that they're separate formats that you can enjoy.
Get me out of here!
The big thing card game players do too often is they refuse to just let other people like things. Like, maybe you don't like the idea of there being 2 different formats, but that's fine. Don't play both of the formats. Just because you personally don't like the idea of there being 2 formats you can play doesn't mean that other people have to also dislike that. Like, your experience doesn't trump what other people want. We need to draw a way to heal here. If we draw a Vile Feast, we could be okay. I think we're dead. They're gonna generate 2 ignitions here. So in theory, we could draw Vile Feast. We could pack the ignition. We Vile Feast in response. We kill them with Commander Ledros and the Spider. That's a pretty specific series of events here. Alright, that'll be big. Yeah, think that's a pretty good take, Dare Hulk. I think in general, most support champions are going to struggle to be competitive in Runeterra just by the nature of what Runeterra is as a game. If your response to something is, I don't like it, and no one asked you, hold your tongue, this should be a rule without exceptions. Yeah, I think that's great, right? Like, it's fine to not like things, but like, just because you don't like something doesn't mean you need to crap on it actively. Like, just ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. This hand's great. We have Go Hard to kill their Zoe, and then we have Elise on 2, and we're attacking on evens. Sorry, to talk about support champions, the how dynamic the gameplay is in Runeterra on average means that support champions tend to really struggle unless they're kind of overstated. Because gameplay in Runeterra tends to be dynamic, where you can't expect to always be attacking or always be blocking.
Hush now.
At the time, when I was talking about Teferi inside of Standard, for you actually Magic players, it was literally legal in every format Magic had. So you're right. Maybe I should have quit playing Magic early. In fact, not even. Just fuck off, Colpuck. I literally did take a break from playing Magic while Teferi was legal, because it was legal in every constructed format. There was literally a point where I said I'm done, and then they banned the card a week and a half or 2 weeks later. So take your actualies and pound sand. We Zaunite Urchining, discarding the Vengeance here? I think so. Yeah, I also literally ran events where that card wasn't legal. So like, stop it.
Come closer. I don't bite.
So, our hand's a little clunky at the moment, but the opponent's deck tends to be one that goes long, so like, it's not terrible. And we're actually going to be able to play one of these next turn after we bank 3 spell mana, right? Pretty happy to trade here. My plan's to start opens back up if Magic stays fun. Yeah, you can always find out about Hoots by typing !Hoots in chat. Koglandia, there's a command for that. We're just doing this to kill this. So if I try to do this, they could single combat me. Gonna pass for now in case they play a Plaza. Wow, they're just burning 3 mana. That's so good for me. And then I think we just murder this, right? Do we? So let's glimpse and see what they do. This could get a single combat out of them, and then we could vengeance in response. This dog is an invoke card, so anything that invokes something 3 or less can get the dog. Oof, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. Gohard's actually a pretty okay draw here because they played Eclipse Dragon with Daybreak, which means there's a chance they Orient Soul us next turn. So if they A-Soul next turn, I want to be able to go hard plus Vengeance to kill it. I think I'm going to ditch a redundant Aftershock for now. It could be right to ditch the Rummage too, though. Mohanda, thanks for the follow. Good morning and welcome. So if I play Ezreal, I can still go hard and Vengeance, right? Because we have 11 mana.
Time for a true display of skill.
And there's obviously a chance they don't have A-Soul as well. Looks like that's the case. And now I can attack in with Ezreal, and if they hush him, we can Vengeance the Eclipse Dragon before it kills my thing.
Bask in her radiant blessing.
Nailed it.
One star's whoopsie is another spark.
Deck's real good, Beansy. Paper, Historic's never coming to paper officially. It's just not, it's not gonna happen. Historic is intended to be a digital format, and that's what it's gonna be. Like, merging them doesn't change that. Okay, there's the A-Soul.
I created it.
So what if... Let's just do this. And then we'll do this like we discussed.
I'm so good, I surprised
Okay,
myself.
Ezreal is leveled up.
Nothing to nothing.
Something's wrong.
Idiots.
I am Electros, the King's Shield.
Hey, thanks for the 11 months, Moose. Welcome back. Make sure this goes keeping the Prime Print Playground upkept. Will do. Hello, youngest son. That's unfortunate. I think I'm just taking this straight at this point, right?
Stand in my way, Southpaw.
Well, they don't have second ace, well, so that's good for us. Sure. That's a big one. Something comes back the first time it dies. Oh, right. We have packed the bags ready to go. Forgot about that. That could definitely steal this game for us.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
They're at 9. This is 5 and 2. The fact that they haven't played any star shapings yet, though, probably means we're gonna have a hard time here. Really need to draw our second copy of Ezreal. This isn't a game mod. This is a weird mod. I'm not sure how to set the mods up. So you're gonna have to do something else.
I thought you'd never ask.
Yep. I guess I'd actually rather use the 5 mana one here. How many cards are in Runeterra deck? 40. The deck builder restrictions in Runeterra, you can play 2 regions, there's 40 cards, and you can have 3 of each card. And you can only play 6 total champion cards. So one of the reasons why Runeterra is so cheap to get into and play is because champions are the only cards that are really expensive. Champions cost $3, and there's a hard cap of 6 champions per deck. So the bulk of the price of buying most decks is getting 6 champions. We could have Rummage plus Mystic shotted their face while Ezreal was out. That's a thought. I didn't think about that line. I don't know. I feel like going for that against the Star Shaping deck is ambitious. It's like they Star Shaping and then their Elusive like messes me up the following turn.
Elise, where are you?
All right, can't beat a Star Shaping. Yeah, I think the comment in chat about making them have Star Shaping last turn was correct. And I should have just gone for it then. That was also wrong. I should have put the 1 damage on here. Yeah, just can't beat that card. I suppose we've only played 1 copy of Pogger's Day. So, like, if I draw Pogger's Day and it draws a bunch of packs, we could be okay here. Or, like, if I draw Ezreal. So we'll take a draw step. But, like, a lot of our deck is copies of Gohard at this point. Have I played 2? I don't know. I have at least 1 Progress Day left. Draw 1/1 for 1. Yeah. Yeah, these matchups are tough. They have so much healing and they have enough interaction for our Ezreals. I think these tend to be hard for us. The fact that our opponent also had a silence the turn we played Lendros was bad as well. Lendros is like our extra finisher in the interactive heavy matchups. So the fact that they had that was a big deal. Ugh. I assume we're dead here based on the number of cards in their hand. Yep. Yeah, that should do it. The Fangs is such a big upgrade over Solari. Solari, Sunforger, and the opponent's archetype. Sunforger is always a pretty mediocre card. Getting to play a card that consistently has lifesteal and also draws you a card is everything they want to be doing. I gave them an extra turn to draw their healing that game. I definitely should have gone for it with the Ezreal the turn prior. Elise while attacking on even sounds great. Garen, Braum. The question is how aggressive are they? They're playing a Bruce, so it's kind of hard to know. They want to mulligan these two for some other cheap cards. Even in Plaza decks, it was only okay.
New recruit reporting in.
So Cithria would imply they're kind of aggressive, but Braum, people play Braum in aggressive decks all the time. Ooh, that's probably what they're doing. The new regen support card. Yeah, almost assuredly, right? Both of these are regen champions. We out cheating. Thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel this morning. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. You can ship those Bezo bucks every single month. Thanks for sending them my way this month. This has Fearsome, so free attack into their 2 power Dorkos here. I think this is fine, and then we'll play Ezreal.
Time for a true display of skill.
Our ancestors are watching.
It's a pretty good one. I think we just open attacks here. And then they'll block here, and we'll get to finish this with a Mystic Shot. The fact that so many people ask about Bezo bucks and if they're still related to Jeff Bezos really shows why he's changing titles, because so many people don't understand corporate structures.
Firing.
Thanks, Jeeton. And we try and cover a good range of decks here. The average deck to buy outright costs like 25 to 30 bucks. Some can be cheaper, some can be more expensive. That's about a good range about in the middle estimate. I think I'm just banking spell mana here. Banking spell mana means I'm getting 2+5, which means we can vengeance this next turn, which is nice. Especially if they decide to give it the +2/+2.
Didn't think her big brother would be so big.
Don't even think about it.
Think Garen's scarier than Brum?
Marcia will prevail. Time for bliss and be friends.
So we take 2, they get a Poro.
It is easy, see?
Stop bragging if you could back it up. Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
So Mystic Shot plus Go Hard let us kill the Poro here at least. Gets Ezreal to 2 out of 4. Lets us bank 3 mana so we can Progress Day next turn potentially. Ripister, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. That's pretty punishing. For playing both of these at once. If I play them one at a time, I don't get got by that.
Don't even think about it.
Alright, it's another copy of Vengeance. We're 2 off of this doing something. I probably want to wait to Progress Day till after I go hard. Flashpoint, welcome to the channel this morning. It's a big one too. So I have 10 total mana here. We go ahead and Vengeance this. I think I'm going to Jury Rig, block the 3/3 Glimpse the Jury Rig token. And this is gonna hook here, obviously.
Approaching the battlefront.
Yeah, having a way to preview the music in client would be great. That is not what we're looking for right now. We'll get to open attacks with Ezreal here, and then Mystic Shot can kill this. Vile Feast is actually a pretty okay pickup, because it'll make us another chump blocker for next turn. Which this doesn't give Overwhelm, so we just need to like throw a bunch of blockers down to survive. So we can like shoot this with Mystic Shot, and then we can deploy these 2. Is that lethal? That might be lethal.
Firing! They don't know what they're up against.
Come closer. I don't bite.
I think Cythria with this is gonna kill us. This effect is really strong against us. We basically depend on being able to chump block to be competitive in these creature matchups. Yeah, I can play Ledros, And I can block one thing, they'll hook it with this, and then we take more than lethal here.
That's no way to treat your queen.
This deck's fine. It's not groundbreaking by any means, but it's reasonable and it's moderately competitive. You have some pretty typical control deck problems like what you saw in that last match there, where, for example, they had a bunch of things that gave their units tough. Like, there were two pretty critical points where we were going to be able to keep their board in check, and then they had Rangers Resolve, and then on top of the Rangers Resolves, they also had just like those 2/2 for 2s with tough that like made all of our deal ones just useless. So like as with any game, like one of the things that's tough about Runeterra is that the lack of sideboards means that in games like that, I don't have a chance to make my control deck better, right? Like if we could like swap out, you know, some number of our deal ones in a matchup like that where they're really bad for cards that like have meaningful interaction, we could have a chance. But like as is, if you like run into someone that's like positioned well against what you're doing, you're just gonna kind of get hosed by it. The matchups seem tough, yeah. So I do, the more I get into Runeterra and play it, the more I wish, yeah, like if we had access to Ruination. Like, this is a deck where if we had a sideboard like 2 or even 3 Ruination, destroy all units, kill all units would be very, very good. But like, yes, I could change my main deck to play this card, but this card's going to be bad in a variety of other matchups. So like when you're playing a control deck in a best of 1 game, you're basically picking and choosing like what you want to be good against, what you're going to be bad against, and then just like hoping your matchups play out in a way that you hit the matchups where those things are good. So at any rate, that's going to wrap up for Runeterra for this morning. As a reminder, my approximate schedule moving forward is going to be a few hours of Runeterra to start every day, and then we're going to shift gears into a few hours of Magic. So we're going to play some Magic Arena for the next few hours here on stream. Let's get that client loaded up here.